Well, I'm not the greatest battleground player, but at least I played a lot of them and I have some experience. And um, since I played a lot of them, I got this cool brazier of the fire drakes as a prize, and lots of golden trash. That's the prizes for battlegrounds. And once I even finished first in the ladder, the Smash ladder on Xbox One, and yet got nothing. Because that's the deal, you finish first, you got nothing. Anyway, my point is that I played a lot of them, I have some experience, and from game to game I see people making same mistakes. And that's why I decided to make this video about some tips for improvement in Battlegrounds. These tips are not too hard to understand and they are easy to do. And keep in mind that these tips are mostly for deathmatch and maybe Chaos Ball also. So let's go. First tip is the most important one. It's the most obvious and easy to do, yet I see people not doing it all the time for some reasons. And this tip is to group up, stay as a team, stay together with your teammates. You benefit from healing each other, from buffing each other, from debuffing your enemies, from focusing your enemies and finishing them off. So in order to win fights, you have to stay together. Don't run away from your team. And despite this tip is super obvious and understandable by anyone, I see many times that people are running in a different direction. In rare occasions they do it from the beginning, but they're probably bad. But sometimes it happens after you die. So there is a little trick. When you respawn, you have to check whether your teammates are alive. In this case, as you can see, two of my teammates are dead. So what I have to do? Right, I have to stay and wait for them to respawn. Because if I run solo, I will probably die alone and my teammates will have to fight 2 versus 4 and it's not gonna happen to be good. Or let me show you another example. You see, my teammates are almost lost the fight, so I can't be fast enough to run there and heal them up. So what I have to do, I have to again stay and unfortunately see them dying, but wait for them to respawn. Sometimes it's tempting to go fast and maybe get some kills, like you see on this footage, but you still have to stay and wait, even if one of your teammates is running, because even running 2 versus 4 or even more enemies could be there is no good. It's just gonna end up bad. So tip is easy. Stay and wait for your teammates. You have to do anything what you can to be as a team, be as one. Second tip: don't run. Don't sprint. Of course, when you wear in medium armor and you have some major expedition, it always feels like you're hearing something like
Run, Forrest, run!
but you know what? Not anyone in your team is medium armor user with pretty much free sprint. So in order to stay as a team, light armor users, they will have to run too and burn their stamina. And without the stamina, they will be doomed in like 10 seconds. So try not to sprint unless in rare occasions. Next tip: have at least one healing ability slotted. It will help your team a lot. It will keep them alive and heal them a little bit. And so it doesn't matter whether you're tank or damage dealer, or even if you consider yourself as a sniper and you just stay there and snipe all day long, which is not a good strategy for Battlegrounds. It's a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, developers have this for you. They have healing even for medium armor bowmans. And of course this skill is vigor. Even resolving vigor, which is a bit of a selfish um, morph of this ability, is gonna be good for you if you are a stamina user. And you know what? Healing is not only good for your team and will help you to win matches, but it's also good for your personal score. So take a look how many medals I get. Each medals gives us additional score, as you can see on the picture, which is kinda interesting. But my final stats, I mean kill, death and assist, are pretty much worse than the stats of the second person in my team. But I have so much more of a final score, and it's easy to see why. I have like 1100 from critical heal, 500 from medic, and there are some other medals you can get from healing, and your overall score will be pretty high. So healing not only helps your team, but also, helps you. The next thing you have to keep an eye on is positioning. And by that I mean not only your personal positioning, because this one is a little bit obvious when you are ranged weapon user, healer. You have to stay behind. You have to be sure that no one gonna stab you in the back, and you will be pretty safe here. But also I mean team positioning, because there are bad places to wait for a fight. As you can see on the picture, you playing for red team, and red circle is a place where you shouldn't stay and wait for fights, because you're gonna be sandwiched. Yellows are a bit better, but still dangerous positioning, and green ones is where, in my opinion, you have to go after you win in a fight and waiting for the next one. So you're not gonna be sandwiched between two opposite teams and crushed. And my last advice is be prepared for the fight. Part of your winning takes place even before fight begins. So what do I mean by be prepared? Get PvP items, get sets that are made for PvP, not for PvE. Get PvP skills. It's not a big secret that some skills are no good in PvP, and they are rather for PvE. So because it's hard to hit someone with uppercut in a battleground. And of course check whether you have enchantment full charged and food active, and of course use food, not a drink, in battlegrounds, and purple one is probably the best. Check whether you have enough poisons if you are using poisons, and potions, and anyone should use potions. So get ready, be prepared. That's a pretty obvious tip. So that's pretty much it for this major tips for battlegrounds that I have for you. Tell me in the comments whether you agree or not. Maybe you think that some other aspects are more important than staying together. And as always, if you like the video, press like button, subscribe. I have some other videos. And thank you for watching. See ya, guys.